for you to do right. No more, no more. Say it again. No more, no more. Time for you to do right, do right, do right. Got a little hate in your heart you won't say. I can see it in your ways. Don't be a devil, babe. I know you're in shock, cause you know that I know it from a friend to a friend. That is why I gotta say it. Christ is the truth. See a time you feel rebuke. Find yourself a disciple and get in a care group. No, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't run no more. No, no. And there's no place, no place, no place, no place to hide. So you better do right. No, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't run no more. No, no. And there's no place, no place, no place, no place to hide. So you better do right. No, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't run no more. No, no. And there's no place, no place, no place, no place to hide. So you better do right. Do right, do right, do right. I got a genuine friend and I want you to know him. Never break a promise, so I know you can't trust him. What you gonna say to the Lord? You can't play him with the fancy car, bling blings can't buy him. Better do right, better think twice, cause when Jesus comes there's no place for running. You say you don't care, but it is me on your ear. Judgment is near, so you better be prepared. No, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't run no more. No, no. And there's no place, no place, no place, no place to hide. So you better do right.
That's Chevelle Franklin with Can't Run No More.
We've just heard from Patrick Regan, who we're in good company with this evening, along with Terry Lee and Stephen. And they are going to perform now. We've heard that they are performing arts. And listen to this.
Sometimes I wonder, would I live to tell the tale? Would I live past 2012 to see my life excel? Get on radio shows and be the face of bass as well. I'm down for this ting, but my feet stay stuck to the ways of the road as well. But when all is well, I thank God for the ways that he's making my days go well. Cause he is making my days go well and making my brain excel to levels that when the teachers would explain to me, I didn't know so well. But now I know so well, cause I'm doing well, cause I'm trying hard at all I do as well. Look, I fixed up, so stop watching me and go sort out yourselves. That's it.
Yeah. And mine's just going to be a little chorus that I wrote about XLP, and yeah, it goes. I owe it all to the hood and the people that told me never back down. I owe it all to XLP, they told me never back down. TC never back down, TC never back down. I kept on striving forward, you know what I did? I never backed down. And it's just a little thing that I wrote and I did on Friday just for Patrick. And because Patrick was there at some show thing that we did in Camden, so I thought, yeah, little way to say thank you to Patrick.
Surrounded by such talent, I am going to desist the invitation, or resist it, I should say, to provide a rap. But I will be practicing, and maybe a few months from now, it might emerge.
One of the key things, we're very grateful for that, by the way, Jeff. Yeah. One of the key things is the genius and the talent that Stephen and Terry Lee have got. And you've just said people need to believe that, don't they? You know, what XLP wants to do is unleash it.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah.
So how are you going to do that? You've gone into schools. Are you talking about trying to make this available to people to listen to?
Yeah, I mean,
we're
trying to do a number of things. I mean, I'm just finishing off a book which comes out next year around the whole gang culture thing, because that's one of the things that's really concerned all of us, is around, you know, people that we know in our community that's been killed or stabbed over something so small. Sometimes it could be a look, sometimes it could be this territory thing that goes on around postcodes and no one really knows where it started from, but they just know that this area has to be at war with this area. And when you get people in, they don't know why it is, you know. People are carrying knives not because they want to use them, but just because they're scared. And of course, if you've got a knife on you and you get yourself into an argument, it's so easy to go and then stab someone and stuff. So we wanted to do something really positive that said, these are the issues, this is why these things are happening. and what can we do about it? And one of the things we can do about it is to give platforms to young people who've decided not to go into that lifestyle, or were in that lifestyle and have chosen not to go down that route. You know, the media phone me quite a lot, and they say, "Oh, Patrick, you know, can you give us a gang leader to interview, please? Or we want to interview a kid with a knife." And the fact is, I mean, we all know kids, you know, that are in gangs and carry knives, and all three of us do. But the fact is, I always say to them, well, I know kids who don't carry knives and live in the same areas as everyone else, but they've chosen to do something positive. Why don't we give them the platform to say why they're doing something positive? And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do with these guys. Is you know, we're hoping to produce a CD and produce some positive tracks that go alongside, you know, the same positive lyrics that are out there. And really to other guys that are younger, who are sort of coming up now. I don't know what you guys think, but I find the younger guys are almost trying just to do craziness to impress the older guys, and so they end up, you know, I interviewed for my book Ian Levy. His son Robert Levy was 16 and he got stabbed to death, and the reason he got stabbed and got killed is because the guy who killed him wanted to impress the gang, and that was his way into the gang. And so someone lost their life over just trying to get into a gang, which just seems so ridiculous. And so I think we need a whole load of role models where actually say, you know what, I live in your estate, I live in your area, and I'm doing something positive. You know, some of the role models we hold up, they're not really doing it, and they're too distant. And you think, well, you know, Obama and all that stuff, you know, they're great role model, but actually too distant. We need people in our own community, and so that's the sort of thing we're trying to do through the arts, and we're trying to do DVDs and CDs and web stuff and all sorts of creative stuff alongside it.
Terry Lee, Stephen, has that been what you've seen, what Patrick has just described?
Yeah, it has been, because, you know, it's true what he's saying, yeah, because many people do try to impress, man, is that I'm not even, like, we were talking about this the other day, innit, about it's just not only what they're doing, it's like, there's other factors in it. You know what I mean? Like, we were talking about, what was it, money, parents.
Being lazy.
Yeah, like, there's other factors that comes with it, and then, you know, it just creates this outcome, this terrible outcome that the media sees. But what my message is, there's so much good, and I'll say there's so much good in the hood, but the media just wants, what I think is the media just wants a story. You know what I mean? I think that's what they're looking for. They're just looking for a story to write, and they just forget about what things like XLP are doing. They'll just go, you know what I mean? They just forget.
Stereotype
They just paint everyone with the same brush. Like, it's not fair for other people that are trying to, you know, do something positive out there. And
yeah, sorry, I really like what you said about the like, why don't the media want to talk to the youths that are in the same area but have chosen a different path? Because that happens a lot, because there's so much, you can go down the same road as everybody else, but the thing is, you don't know that you're going down a road until you're actually there at the end, or until you're in a big situation or crisis. That's when you realise, oh, you don't realise that you're going, you don't think, oh, because I'm from this area, I'm going to go down this road. You just do what everyone else does, but not in a way whereas it just happens. But if you segregate yourself and do your own thing, that's when you realise, okay, I'm doing my thing, they're doing their thing, and you see a big difference. Do you know what I mean? But we was talking about this the other day in XLP, and I just think that with youth and that, there's so much different factors. It's not that they want to, maybe it is that they want to impress people, but there's so much more to it. Like being lazy, like just wanting easy money. There's so much factors of it that I think that people need to address before they just try and jump past all that and just say, how are we going to tackle knife crime, gun crime?
Because how can you deal with something that you don't really know about? You know what I mean? You need to know where it's starting from for you to put it out. You know what I mean? So
I think the challenge is what we were chatting about this the other day in XLP, was saying that a lot of people, when they come to these issues, they go, well, it's the family's fault, you know, it's the parents, or the other one you get is it's poverty, it's all, you know. And we were saying, you know, we know kids who've got, you know, parents are split up and they're not in gangs, and we know people that live in tough estates and they're not in gangs. But the fact is, if you combine a lot of those things for one young person, so the fact is, you know, your family is complex, and you've got brothers and sisters, and they're from different dads, and you don't know who they are, and stuff, and you live on a challenging estate, and then you're struggling in education, and you've got no money, and someone offers you £1,500 just for lookout for drugs. I mean, that's what you can get just for lookout. You don't even have to take the drugs or sell it, just for looking out. And then you start to think, actually, that's quite an option there. And so it's the combination of those factors, which then means, okay, I'm going to start down this lifestyle.